It's been a few years since Hyundai Philippines brought in the Stargazer, and since then it has become a force to reckon with in the small MPV class. Heck, it even went on to win my small MPV Battle Royale video. Now, Hyundai Philippines wants to keep the Stargazer fresh, and with that, we now have the updated Hyundai Stargazer GLS. Now, what can we expect from these updates? Well, mga dude pare, stick around as we find out in this unboxing video. Let's do this. The Hyundai Stargazer GLS is the top-spec trim for the local Stargazer, and it retails for 1,228,000 Philippine pesos, which is a 30,000 Philippine peso increase from before. For this facelift, the Stargazer GLS loses the premium trim, which is now reserved for the Stargazer X. So, what do we get for our money? Let's find out.
Here at Reagan's Rides, we do car reviews of SUVs, sports cars, trucks, and everything in between. So subscribe and hit the bell.
Alright mga dude pare, so let's start with the design. Now the previous Stargazer was a love it or hate it affair, mainly because it either looks like a futuristic spaceship to you or it looked like an egg. Now that has been changed with this facelift because now the Stargazer GLS looks more like an SUV rather than MPV. See, we get some design cues here that kind of call to mind the larger Hyundai Palisade, like for example the LED DRLs here on the sides of the LED headlights. We also have some squarish yet muscular front fender bulges here, and if you look at the front bumper, we get these these protruding front bumpers here, plus this chunky matte silver design there in the front and center, and it looks like a chunky H. Now, the star of the show here in the front fascia would be, well, the front grille. See, the front grille looks like the grille of an SUV, but an SUV from the year 2050. See, it has that robotic vibe going on to it, giving this Hyundai Stargazer GLS that macho yet robotic SUV look. Now, we still have the LED light strip that's found from the previous Stargazer, but instead of one whole affair, we only have the LED light strip here in the center, there, and it's connected with the LED light strips here underneath the LED headlights. So yeah, it is a different interpretation, but it goes with that futuristic theme that the Stargazer GLS is going for. Now, the front fascia may have had a radical facelift, but the side, remains the same, alright? It is exactly the same as the one we found in the pre-facelifted Stargazer, which means that we still have 16-inch alloy wheels here, and behind those wheels, we still get the same mechanical bits. So really no change done here on the sides. A little bit taken aback by that because I know that in other markets, the Stargazer GLS would get like low-mounted roof rails there and larger 17-inch alloy wheels, but we don't get that here in the Philippines. Not really a big deal, to be perfectly honest. Now, the mechanical bits, as I said, are the same. That means we still have disc brakes up front, we have drums at the back, and the suspension is still the same. MacPhersons up front and a torsion beam at the back. Now, because the mechanicals are the same, well, the ground clearance would probably be the same at 185 millimeters. Again, it's pretty standard, but I would have wanted it to have the same ground clearance as the Stargazer X, which is around 200 millimeters, but, well, it is what it is. So yeah, since there's really not much change here on the side, let's go over to the back to see what kind of changes were done for this facelift. Now, the rear end design gets a facelift, a drastic facelift just like the front. Now, we get smaller LED taillight units here from before, but it is still in the same H design as the one found in the pre-facelift. Now, it also looks like a TIE Fighter, although it's like the TIE Fighter in Star Wars. Yeah, but it's a little bit on the smaller side. The rear bumper, though, I love this. I love the design, and I was already prepared not to like it, but looking at it in person, it actually looks pretty darn good, mga dude pare. Looks nice. Looks very, very futuristic. Now, when you pop open the manual tailgate here, you'll notice that, well, we get the same amount of space as before, being just a facelift. We have 585 liters of cargo space here when you fold the third row seats. And yeah, these are easily folded and they can fold flat. and you can put around 4 pieces of luggage in that cargo area. Now, let's check out the engine to see if we have anything new there. Now, under the hood, we get the same engine and transmission combo as a pre-facelift. We have a 1.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder gasoline engine that produces 113 horsepower and 144 Newton meters of torque. Now, it's mated to an IVT transmission which drives the front wheels. So, since there's really nothing new to see under the hood, well, let's check out the cabin and see what kind of updates were made there. Now, the cabin of this facelifted Stargazer GLS has received some meaningful updates. Now, we have an all-black interior here, as you can see, and we have these seats that come with a combination of faux leather and fabric. Now, I love that the fabric is in the middle because that means that it will keep your butt and your back cool during our warm or hot summer days. Now, we also have a leather-wrapped steering wheel here in the same design as the one found in the pre-facelift, and the steering wheel also tilts and telescopes, so yeah, that's also pretty good. Now, the first meaningful update here inside would be the way that they have designed the instrument gauge cluster and the infotainment system. You see, gone is the awkward gray plastic housing that we had before, and now we have this all black dual LED panel displays here that looks like it belongs in a hybrid or an EV. I mean, the execution of this thing is fantastic and I love it. And we have a 10.25-inch fully digital gauge cluster there, and beside that we have an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system, a bit on the small side though, but it still has wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and the image of a reverse camera. And we also have some physical knobs and buttons here to control your infotainment system, and when you go down from there, we have your manual climate control controls, but we also don't have that awkward looking gray plastic. Instead, this has been blacked out, giving it a cleaner and sleeker look. Now, I also noticed that we lose the hidden cubby here in the middle dashboard. Instead, we just have an open tray area there. We have, of course, your glove box here, and yes, we also have your shifter in the usual layout. Now, in other markets, the shifter has been mounted on the steering column, but thankfully, we still don't have that. Now, why thankfully? I'm a bit of a traditionalist, I still want the shifter to be found right where it should be, right here. Well, that's just me, mga dude pare. Of course, the shifter comes with a sport mode there with a manual mode, and we have buttons here beside it for your drive modes. We've got Eco, Normal, Sport, and Smart, and we also have your traction control off button there. Now, we don't have an electronic park brake with an auto hold button. We still have a good old-fashioned handbrake here. Yep, that's not really a big issue. And when you check out the safety systems of this Stargazer GLS, as you can see, we have a good amount of safety bits right there as you're seeing on your screen. So yes, not as many changes or updates as found in, let's say, the markets in Indonesia, but just this pare, ito lang, okay na eh, ulam na eh. Ang ganda. I love that. Now, let's go to the back seat and check out any changes there. Alright, so the second row is practically identical to the pre-facelifted Stargazer, and I would presume that the same would go for the third row seats, but I did notice that we have a pair of USB Type-C charge ports here. I don't think the pre-facelifted Stargazer GLS got that, so that's nice. We've got fast charging Type-C charge ports there. Now, other than that, everything else is the same. We still have a tray here at the passenger area, front passenger area. We have your AC vents here on the ceiling with your blower controls. You've got your cup holders here on the door cards, and yeah, enough space here in the second row for 3 average Asian adults. Anyway, that's all for today's unboxing video of the Hyundai Stargazer GLS. If you like what you're seeing, guys, please subscribe to my channel. And yeah, if you like car reviews and unboxing videos of vehicles, and yeah, if you just like seeing my face. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching.